Make sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive videos never before seen on YouTube. And don't forget to also check out the memberships on my channel page to join and gain access to perks and see videos early. Make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell and be notified of new videos. All the support goes to the production of the channel for better content. Now let's get into the video. Now that Lord Frieza was finally killed by Goku and his allies, everybody would then return back to Earth. Now, a lot of events would happen the exact same, aside the fact that, well, Goku here does not go to the planet Yardrat, because remember, he didn't have to barely escape Namek. And also, the Namekians don't need to wait to have a new Namek created, nor would they know where the new Namek is. So, since this is the original Namek, everybody knows where it is, the Nameks are fine, everybody was back, which is great. Now, in terms of the androids, and especially including Trunks, since there is no Frieza, he was obliterated, King Cold would never show up. You could add a fun arc and add Cooler in there, but I don't think that Cooler would be able to stop Goku and them anyway. They would just gang up on him anyway. Now, if we do cut into Trunks showing up, that would happen the same. Now, Trunks' future is pretty much the exact same with the androids, as the androids would still be created. Now, would the androids be as powerful as they are? Because if you guys remember, there's no Super Saiyan in this timeline. So, would the androids potentially be a little bit different in Trunks' timeline? As you guys know, the androids were stronger in the current timeline. They're actually weaker in Trunks' timeline. Well, I'm just going to go for a limb and say that Trunks' timeline, their androids, is actually stronger than the ones that are going to be in the current. Reasoning why is because no one even has Super Saiyan yet. No one has shown that excess power yet. So, Dr. Gero would not have a reason to make them that powerful. He only knows to take down base Goku. I'm just saying that just for common sense. It'll be the same thing for Cell. Now, as we do know, Goku did use the Kaioken ability, but that still does not mean nothing. It was only one time, and it was on Namek. So, yes. Trunks would still give Goku the heart medicine, that happens the same. Now, Trunks would actually showcase Goku Super Saiyan. Now, Goku's never seen a Super Saiyan before, and Goku would even try to fight him a little bit, but then he would lose. Well, during this time, as you guys know, Trunks would tell him the date, and then the 3 years would pass. Now, at this point, Goku would start training Gohan, as Gohan is at that right age. He's 5+ years old, so they would start training him, and Gohan has great potential here, because even from a young age, Chi-Chi's not shoving books down his throat as bad as she did. Goku's taking Gohan's potential more seriously because he knows his son has great power, and they're going to need all the help that they can get. So for those 3 years, they train hard with Gohan. And Piccolo would join in as well. That's when Gohan and Piccolo start forming a good friendship. I know it's a little bit late, but, you know, Piccolo would soften up a little bit. As for Raditz, now Raditz as well would be training with them too. Now, in terms of Vegeta, he'd basically be the same. He would not travel off to go find Goku, because obviously Goku's there. He does not know about the Super Saiyan transformation, as he would already ask Kakarot what that transformation that he did was, and Goku's state is just Kaioken. So it's not a Super Saiyan. Now, Vegeta doesn't know what a true Super Saiyan is. So if Vegeta does go train on his own, he gets pushed, and he's really pushing himself, Vegeta wouldn't truly know about it, so he wouldn't have that, like, giving up moment to where it would force him to turn into a Super Saiyan, if y'all get what I'm saying. So the only time he's seen Super Saiyan was when Trunks did it, but again, he doesn't know who Trunks is. He didn't even know that Trunks is a Saiyan. He'd never seen that transformation, or nothing. So Vegeta, not yet, he cannot turn into a Super Saiyan yet. You could argue that when the big meteor does try hitting him and he's, you know, giving up, you could argue that he gets close to unlocking it, his hair flickers, but just not yet. He does not have that massive motivation of like Goku has it, now Trunks has it, you know what I mean? So now Vegeta really just gives up. So if we do cut into when the androids appear, obviously most of the events happen the exact same.
with Dr. Gero and Android 19. So once when they show up, Goku would then obviously just use his Kaioken ability, and he would be overpowering them. But Goku's heart started getting out on him, so he had to be pulled away. Well, what are they going to do now? The androids are too powerful. Well, this is when Vegeta shows up. Now, Vegeta is true, is that Vegeta here is far stronger than he was in the original, and Vegeta does not know Super Saiyan, but Vegeta is actually far stronger than Goku in terms of base power. Now, during this time, you would have Raditz, who's stronger than Goku, and you would also have Piccolo, who's just as strong, and Gohan is there, but obviously Gohan can't do much, he's just a kid. His power is starting to grow, but not there yet. Raditz would then help, obviously Raditz would then take charge, and he would definitely be attacking Android 19. Now Raditz here is actually stronger than Goku in terms of base form. He just doesn't have the Spirit Fission ability like Goku has. So Raditz would then burst into Kaioken times 10 or times 20, and he would very quickly overpower Android 19. Once when he kills him, like Vegeta style, Android 19's dead. Dr. Gero would then try to run off, as then, of course, Piccolo would then keep up with him. Now, when Piccolo keeps up with him, he would spar with Dr. Gero. Dr. Gero is stronger than Piccolo in this what if. So, Vegeta here would then gang up with Piccolo, and then Raditz would then join in, of course, and pretty much gang up on Dr. Gero and everybody else. But Dr. Gero still would escape and go activate the androids, just like the original, and Android 17 and 18 would still kill him, just like the original. Now, once when Android 18 and 17 arrive, they would still activate Android 16. Now, Vegeta here is still cocky, because they just defeated the two of the androids. They were strong, but they ganged up and beat them. Well, he would kind of get the same kind of humiliation that he got when Android 18 broke his arm and kind of kicked him aside, but just worse. Now, Raditz would be the only challenge for them. It's not even a challenge either, as Raditz, even with Kaioken times 20, cannot even, I would say, cannot really contend with Android 18. Not truly. Now, obviously, how powerful are the androids compared to the normal androids? They are weaker. You can compare their power to Trunks' timeline in terms of power. And so they're weaker than they originally were. The androids are far more powerful in the original timeline. It gets very confusing. And it's basically when Goku survives, those androids were far more powerful than the one that Trunks and Future Gohan were in. So once when we do show up to when the androids spare them, of course, just they're bored, and they were kind of fun, they would then go off destroying, do whatever they want to do. Now, Cell is still born. That happens the same. This version of Cell is not as strong as the original one, because there's not even any Super Saiyan or nothing. Now, if we do go into, okay, cool, Goku has a heart virus, now what's going to happen? Now, Vegeta knows, he knows that there is a power far beyond, Super Saiyan and everything else. And so, he knows about Super Saiyan because Trunks did it. Now, Trunks would still show up, as we know, versus the androids, and Vegeta would actually demand him, telling him, saying, look, if we're going to beat these androids, you're going to, and this is a lot of pride he's swallowing right here, asking for help. He would say, look, you're going to have to tell us how to use this Super Saiyan transformation for us to be able to beat him. So Trunks would actually stay for a couple days more and explain it to Vegeta. And, of course, they're all at Kami's house. And obviously everybody's listening to it. Goku can hear it as well, even though he's obviously sleeping up there. Goku can hear it through the floor. He understands what's going on. As we all know, that Goku was like that when he was asleep with a heart virus. He could still hear conversations and what's going on. Now, once when Trunks leaves, Vegeta with them would very quickly go run off to the hyperbolic time chamber. Now, Goku at this point was healed up, so they were okay. Goku would then tell everybody about the hyperbolic time chamber, and they would all head there anyway. Now, once when they do arrive, of course, they would then take all their turns like the exact original. Only difference here is when Piccolo goes in by himself, he'll actually go in with Gohan, because obviously Piccolo's a good teacher for him. Goku would then go in with his brother Raditz, and of course, Vegeta would then go in with Trunks, who showed up again. Now, once when Vegeta and them show up in there, Vegeta would very quickly learn how to access Super Saiyan. Obviously, his pride was massive now because he has a high power. Now, this version of Vegeta is stronger than his original self. No, he does not have Super Vegeta yet, but he does have Super Saiyan. And they obviously stay in there for the whole year. Now, as for Gohan and Piccolo, Gohan obviously doesn't have Super Saiyan, but Gohan's potential is high, so he's actually far stronger, and he's about the same strength as he was in the original, just minus the Super Saiyan ability. He doesn't have it. Now, as for Piccolo, Piccolo is at that level now to where he can definitely contend with the Super Saiyan level. He is stronger than his original self before he did a fusion with Kami, which is very, very not that crazy, considering that Piccolo was stronger in the Frieza saga too. Now, Piccolo would still fuse with Kami, because he knows how powerful the androids are, but we'll get that in a second. Now, once Piccolo gets out, obviously, Vegeta wants to go fight instantly, but Trunks would then tell him back, and Piccolo would say, "You had your turn, let me go have my turn." And so that's exactly what Piccolo does. Now, Piccolo would then go fuse with Kami, and Kami fused Piccolo is stronger than the original. This is going to be very interesting, as Piccolo would then fly off to go fight the androids. Now, of course, Android 17 versus Piccolo would happen, but this is where a lot's going to be changing. Android 17 is a lot weaker than his original self in this current timeline. As you guys know, the androids were stronger than even Trunks' timeline androids. Well, these ones are just as weak as that, and Piccolo in the original timeline was evenly matched with a stronger Android 17, pretty much identical even, and not to mention this version of Piccolo is stronger and the androids are weaker. This is where some stuff is going to change massively. Now, when Piccolo fights Android 17, he actually overpowers him to where both androids need to gang up on Piccolo to even be in exact equal battle. Now, this is when Piccolo starts getting into some trouble. As you know, he's getting double teamed on, and it's about an equal fight. He's starting to lose stamina. Piccolo knows that he has to somehow take out, and he knows he can't easily, he has to take out one of the androids, because then obviously that cuts him in half. So Piccolo would then charge up a special beam cannon, and he would then use his ability to kick Android 18 away, and he would shoot a special beam cannon holding Android 17 down with his arm. Remember, his arms like rubber can extend, and blow a hole right through Android 17, killing him. Android 16 was actually surprised at how powerful Piccolo has become. Now, Android 18 was furious. She would then continue to fight Piccolo, all up until somebody appears. It was Imperfect Cell. Now, when Cell appears, he is furious that Piccolo just killed his android. Now he can't become complete. So what's he going to do? Well, Android 17's turned off, so he's going to take Piccolo's energies instead. So Imperfect Cell would begin his battle with Piccolo, as Piccolo knows that if Cell absorbs Android 18, it's all over. So he tells Android 18 to run, get out of here, and Android 16 would then team up with Piccolo, making a really odd duo, and Android 16 would help Piccolo fight. Now, you could argue that Android 16 is a little bit weaker, but I'm going to just say for easy purposes, he's around the same strength as he was, and he was overpowering Cell. Now, this version of Imperfect Cell is weaker than the original. So, with Piccolo, who is tired, and Android 16 ganging up on Imperfect Cell, they would definitely kind of give him the wet work. Cell would kind of get overpowered very quickly, and obviously his healing ability saves him, but as you guys know, Cell still has stamina like any other being, and he still does get injured and tired. He can only heal himself so much. Now, Piccolo is beyond exhausted and he was out of the fight. Android 16 was fine. As you guys know, he has unlimited energy. He can do whatever he wants. Now, Android 16 knows that he cannot beat Cell. Why? Because Cell is only getting stronger and stronger, remember? Because Cell's part Saiyan. And Android 16 knows that it's not his destiny to kill, so he doesn't want to kill Cell. But he doesn't have a choice. Now, Cell would then take advantage of this and do a solar flare. And he would escape. Now, he would try to hurriedly find Android 18, but he couldn't find her. Now, very quickly though, he would soon find her. As remember, Krillin was there as well. He did have the button. He could have destroyed her, but as you guys know, he kind of fell for Android 18, even though there's millions of other women in the world. And he kind of destroyed the button, and let's just say the Cell came in, slapped him out of the way, and he absorbed Android 18. Well, now he became semi-perfect Cell, and he cannot become perfect. He can't. So he would very quickly kind of bully on Android 16. Piccolo was able to get away with the help of Krillin. Now this is when Vegeta appears with Trunks. Now Vegeta here is not as strong as his original self, because there's no Super Vegeta. It's just normal Super Saiyan. Now Vegeta would then attack Semi-Perfect Cell. It'll be a pretty even battle, but Cell would start to overpower Vegeta and kind of make him swallow his pride, because he thought he was invincible, which Cell took advantage of that, as he's way too cocky. Now Trunks here, Trunks is actually stronger, and Trunks would kind of be able to fight Cell pretty well, but obviously it would not be enough. Now during this time though, Goku was obviously in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber still with Raditz. Now Cell knows that he cannot become perfect, but if he defeated Vegeta and Trunks, who obviously were Super Saiyans, never seen them before, Cell is cocky and he thinks that, oh, you know, even half of my power is enough to defeat all of you. Now, would Cell still hold the Cell games? I don't think so, no. Just because of the fact that he's not perfect, so he's not as fully confident. But Cell would then fly off, and Cell states, well, I'm just going to have to go absorb more humans and absorb more life to get away, and maybe get my power up even more. Or maybe Dr. Gero has a lab somewhere to where I can find, or maybe he has other androids that I can absorb to get more powerful. That's his thought process. Other than that, he has nothing else. So as he's exploring around the world, Goku and Raditz would then appear, coming out of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and they were ready to begin their onslaught to go fight Cell. And that is it for this one, you guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers, and I will talk to you all later.